Today's show, as always, sponsored by LivasaIslandApparel.com for gear that represents the South Pacific Island languages and cultures accurately and responsibly. Put on for the culture. Catch the wave at LivasaIslandApparel.com. Welcome to another episode of the Ballinesian Podcast here on the Polytickin Network, sponsored by Livasa Island Apparel. Check them out at le_Vasa on Instagram for your Christmas shopping. They got the posted collection, they got the hoodies, the winter weather, definitely stuff to keep you warm and have great gifts this holiday season. Anything on Levasa that you were scoping, Forrest?
Man, I still love the stamp collection, the postal collection, and I love the PG one.
The Fiji stamp. Those stamps are crazy. Those are like real stamps
Those are
from
real
like
stamps.
Polynesia.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I need to get more of those hoodies. We might have one of those to give away actually. So definitely
Can you
check
give it
back
to
in. Yeah. Yeah, next week we'll have more info on that. Welcome to the Ballinesian Podcast. I'm Lance. This is Coach Forrest, Charger and a Raider fan, respectively, and we're here to talk about sports. Someone's talking about sports, mostly football. We got to get into our NFL teams and the playoff picture. Puka Nacua going off, Tua Tagovailoa keeping the Dolphins in the playoffs, as well as we'll try to hit college football playoffs and the Heisman also. Yeah, this week, what are we going into? Week 15? Oh, man. It feels like the season is already just like over. It feels like it just started, and now we're like a month away from the playoffs. How are you feeling about this football season? Sorry.
First off, it's very insulting that you said, "Well, it's week 15." It's like it's over, bro. You know it was over for us a few weeks ago. Honestly, it's at the end of the season. We couldn't get here fast enough for Raiders fans, just because we're trying to get into next season already. Because you can see, obviously, we want to get out of it because we weren't good this year. And I can already hear people in my left ear. You guys were good the year before that, but here, okay, calm down.
Raider fans are so like fun
loyal.
to argue with.
You say loyal, right? Loyal. That's what you meant to say.
They definitely are, for sure.
No, yeah. There's a lot of hope, even though there wasn't too much this year. Didn't have great quarterback play, despite having Gardner Minshew, who's had an okay career in the NFL. Even as a starter, he's won some games, but wasn't the case for him this year. He got injured. But before that, we had Aiden O'Connell, who won some games last season as a starter, but didn't make it to the start to the beginning of the season until Minshew got hurt. Was named the starter. He himself got hurt. So difficult to watch a team go out there that you think has keys or key players in there, or to make a move at some point in the year. But if you can't get them the ball, then it's tough. Lost some guys on defense. Christian Watkins was out for the season. They lost their safety Marcus Epps for the season. So they also lost the defensive end and Malcolm Kuntz, who was coming along. He had 8 sacks last year. So they lost a lot of guys for the season. So
it makes sense that you guys are where you guys are right now. In this situation.
It's all, you always want to say next man up, but the fact of the matter is sometimes you don't have a next man up, So we look forward to next season, as we had Brock Bowers, who everybody was talking about was the wrong pick last season. People were they should be reached, or they
take a lineman, dummies.
Right. And all he did was come in and break the single season rookie reception record. He's helped them win the games that they have won. It looks like he's actually going to be like the next evolution in the tight end position, because he can play tight end. You can spread him out. He can play big receiver. He can be your H-back. He can be your fullback. He can also take jet sweeps and play your tailback position. He blocks pretty good too. So, like I said, he can do all of those things at a high level, not just like, he can do a little bit of this and then he's great at this. he's kind of just really good at a lot of the stuff that he's able to do. So
he's like Mike Trout. He's good at everything.
exactly.
Anything you need him to do, he's like a elite.
You just go out there.
I don't think that's an evolution. I think he's a unicorn. I think you guys got one of the people are gonna try to be Wembanyama, right? But ain't nobody gonna be Wembanyama. Ain't nobody gonna be Brock Bowers.
We also didn't have guys like Kelsey and Kittle in the league. Those guys, just phenomenal. Like some of the numbers they put up.
Hands.
You know what I mean? Yeah, definitely. Because before you just
I hate those
kind of look at your tight end. Right, I hate those teams. You got to just put your tight end as a receiving tight end, like in the 20-yard line in the red zone. That's how it was before. You're like, oh, look for the tight end, like in
red zone. Yeah,
red zone threat. And now they're like, Kelsey's like the best receiver on this team, honestly, in Kansas City.
Yeah, I mean they had to go out and they got Juju, who was clutch this. I mean, well, okay, we'll talk about the Chiefs, but for the Raiders, with the Jacksonville Jaguars winning a divisional game versus the Tennessee Titans, the Raiders now have the first overall pick. Right, you got 4 more games left. I know you want the Raiders to like play and try their best, and if it's not their best, then that's cool. But don't do this. Take out all your good players, pretend they're hurt and stuff like that. Go give it your all. Try to win the game for the fans, for the nation. Yeah. If you guys do end up with the first overall pick or something, there is like a talk of already who you guys have a connection with at quarterback, and then what else? What other positions do you think the Raiders should be focused on getting in free agency or the draft?
I think O-line's going to be a big position of need for them. Colton Miller's been a really great left tackle for a few years. He's a little older. People are like, older? And I thought so too. I was like, oh, he just into the league. He's been in the league for a little bit. He's on the older side.
He's on his second contract.
Yeah. He's also got a nagging shoulder injury from last season, and it just seems like he's not the same now coming back this season. So they might have to show up left tackle this season. Cornerback is going to be a big need for them. You hear me on this show all the time talk about how Jack Jones and Jacorian Bennett are young and upcoming cornerbacks who are going to be really good for a long time. Well, it's not that time yet, so they still need some help. Defensive backfield.
Keep learning.
Right. They lost Marcus Epps for the season. Isaiah Pola-Mao, he's a really great piece, but I think they're going to have to be like safety by committee, honestly. Should have someone back there with better coverage skills to go with him and Mayrig, who's back there, who's also playing pretty great. Yeah. So, a lot of the things in the NFL now positions, they do by committee. And that's because teams are so versatile these days that they throw so many looks at you. So you're also going to have to be able to adapt during the game, not just like at halftime or during the next game. You're going to have to adapt in game, like real life on the fly. Mm-hmm. So if you have multiple guys out there, if you have the one guy who can do everything, that's great. But if you don't, then, multiple dudes who can do different things that you can just plug and play in during a game is great. So maybe, another safety who kind of plays like your nickel, who plays like a nickelback, comes in there and does almost like a specialty
high
thing.
Low can do, but versatile. Another if you guys do get like a top 3, top 2 pick, you do need tackle. You do need offensive line. You do need safety, but you guys are probably going to go quarterback. What is that situation looking like lining up in Vegas?
I mean, if you believe all the talk on social media and everywhere else, Shedeur Sanders looks like a pretty big lock for the Raiders if they pick at 1 or 2, even at 3.
Mutual.
Yeah, it's mutual after every loss, and it's not that he doesn't like the Raiders, but he'll post "Thank God" every Raiders loss because it just means it's a closer step for him to becoming a Raider. Like he's pretty sure that the Raiders would draft him, and there have been talks we've seen. There's a video out there where Antonio Pierce and Deion Sanders are talking, and he
I just need you to do one thing, Coach. What's that? I need you to draft my boys.
Yeah. And AP said, "Oh my God." So Obviously there's a connection, which would be cool. I mean, I like Shedeur. I think he can do all the necessary things to be a good quarterback in the NFL. Whether he's great or not, that's gonna be up to him and what he does in the league. I like him better than Cam. I think Cam's, although he's nonchalant back there, I think he doesn't. I don't know. He doesn't have like a people go, what are you talking about? He's brought his teams back from like, he doesn't.
Miami Hurricanes
I don't
quarterback
trust
Cam Ward.
Miami Hurricanes Cam. I don't trust him. I don't trust him. So
Okay. You think Sanders is more clutch?
I think he's a better fit in the NFL, and I think.
What do you think his want to go to Vegas is? Like because it's Vegas, because of the roster, because of the staff?
Who doesn't want to play in Vegas? I think it's obviously he's going to have
like the next media giant team to make
right.
Good endorsement money.
I think before everybody wanted to go, well, they still do. New York, LA, and probably Miami were the three destinations people were like, get me to those teams. Those are big market cities. And when you go there, before, I don't know if guys are really thinking about what they could do outside of the field in their city. Because, there wasn't as many endorsements going around, right? There wasn't as many endorsements going around, or even just like marketing yourself. A lot of these guys are influencers now on their own channels, or they have their own products to sell.
They don't want to go to Carolina or. Right. I mean, the Giants are going to be looking for a quarterback. All right.
Yeah, but also
New York
Giants when you can play for the Raiders. So
I think some people would think you could get like more media money in New York. But
Vegas is a growing city. Everything that they do now, like you'll see it. The NBA in-season tournament, Las Vegas. All the March Madness, the games, they run through Las Vegas first. The first game of the college football season for like the Big Ten is in Vegas.
They recognize the growing empire of the city,
right? And just the glitz and glamour of the city that's associated with the city of Vegas. Party city. Entertainment wise, it's probably the adult entertainment capital of America. It's where an adult goes to be a kid.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's so much more than on the field stuff that he could do, and we've seen Shedeur and his brothers all over social media. The oldest brother is their cameraman, who does their social media. So
that's another important little piece. Dion asked for AP to draft both of his sons. If you would take both of them, right? You can get Shiloh
we can sign Shiloh we can sign Shiloh.
There's your safety help.
Right. A free agent safety, undrafted free agent safety. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Definitely. Hey, if he gets drafted by somewhere else, he's really good.
No. I think he's about like, I think people are giving him like a anywhere from a 4th to a 7th round grade. So if we can get him in the middle rounds, I think he's better than the 7th round, 6th round pick. So like, if you can get him in like the 4th, 5th round, I think that's a good value pick.
Nice.
Yeah.
Anything else on the Raiders this week?
That they're better than the Chargers despite our records, and that you guys do this. We're still better than the Chargers. I just want you to know that.
I know that's what you think. Always.
Good.
Those Chargers lost this week to the AFC leading Kansas City Chiefs. I have so many notes. I'm not gonna. I'll spare you guys. Maybe I'll throw this up on the story. But
right, have you ever watched that Jim Carrey movie where he's like, is he a serial killer?
What?
Wait! Like he writes notes like all over. What is it? Is it 26 or 21? Have you ever seen that movie? Yeah, he's
Jim Carrey thriller.
Yeah, he's I think what is it with multiple personalities? He's schizophrenic. Sorry. So he's schizophrenic, I guess. And
what show is that? What movie is that?
I want to say it's called 26. I'll look it up. Or 28.
Who knows?
It's a number.
DM us if you know this.
But anytime I'm at work at like 11 or 2 in the morning, and my shared note pops up like all of a sudden, like I'm thinking it's a notification from like some girl I'm talking to, and nope, it's Lance's notes at 2:30 in the morning about the Chargers. I'm like, bro, this guy, go to sleep.
Sunday night football. It was like
the Chargers suck, bro. Just go to sleep, bro.
Traveling to Arrowhead, man, this one, the Chargers looked a little frazzled, but it's like the Chiefs have looked out of it this entire season, right? So now is the time to walk yourself into the Lions Den and strike these guys while they're like off.
Right.
Also,
like,
it would help
you now, guys.
Yeah, bang! This is our. You're still leading, but we'll be back. The Chiefs end up winning in a very close defensive game. Both quarterbacks got beat up. Both only threw for 1 touchdown. Justin Herbert was 21 of 30, like 200 yards. And harassed the entire time. Like no kind of time to throw. He was pressured. The pocket was like pushed, crowded the entire night. I think I counted like 3 total clean pockets where you could like wait and step up and throw.
Was there like a culprit, like one culprit?
Oh man! To start it was Leo Chanel, right? It was like number 54, their linebacker. He would press from the outside. He in like the first couple plays, he was got a tackle for loss on like he was in the backfield so quick that he grabbed Gus Edwards by the waist and body suplexed him backwards for like a loss of 2 yards. Like he was very disruptive. They also had Chris Jones, who was an all-pro defensive tackle, making stuff difficult for the Chargers offensive line. But just the entire time, it felt like a very pressed and pressured game for the offense. But the defense...
I just want to let you know, folks, this is how beloved his Chargers are to him. Instead of answering who the culprit was on his offensive line that was causing all the problems, he bypassed my question and went straight to the guys on the defense. But that's a great fan, and that's great insight too, though, because that's how in deep you guys don't understand the notes he put in. That's how in depth my podcasters, his notes are impeccable. He's noted that there was, I think he went play by play. I had like play by play for each play in the game.
That was just like info dumping and trying to really keep track of stuff.
I was hurt as a Raiders fan reading the note. I was like, damn, that line sucked.
Bro, tell me about it. These are like, I mean, the Chargers have invested heavily on turning this into a good offensive line. Drafted Joe Alt last couple of years, Rashawn Slater, Zion Johnson, brought in Bradley Bozeman. Right guard is Trey Pipkins, who was our right tackle, but now he's a big-ass right guard. Sometimes he gets holding calls. Zion Johnson, though, was our first-round pick a couple years ago, and I think he's the one that's, like, giving up holds, giving up pressures, causing penalties, missing blocks. It's usually number 77.
You think it's a talent thing or like a scheme thing?
I think it's a mental thing. It's like, why are you are you getting beat? And it's like causing, you to hold or, but he's like a first round pick. So I'm like, did we reach, what is going to happen there? But also this Chargers run offense is like 20th in the league. Never before has Jim Harbaugh had a rushing offense less than 8th best in the league. So there's, something, I mean, I can give it the excuse that it's the first year, right? It's a transition year. They're going to go this next year and get even more offensive line help, turn this into more of a refined running team where we were missing J.K. Dobbins, who's out for probably the rest of the year. I mean, he's on injured reserve, so he should be coming back though. But yeah, so this running offense not doing what it's supposed to, and that would have helped a whole lot because the way that they were getting pressured, it's just like if you can have the defense have to like worry about being attacked on the ground, then they can't, do
Right.
the
They
pass
can't
rush if they can't blitz as much as they
pinpoint.
can.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they got to respect that. And they didn't have to. So, yeah, this was a mess of a game, 17-19. The Kansas City Chiefs win on a last-second field goal that hit the upright.
I saw that.
And went in. That's
I
crazy.
think the meme that's going around, it's a doink for the win.
Doink for the division. The Chiefs
what does
secured
that
the
do
AFC West with that win.
what does that do for the Chargers playoff chances?
I think looking at the schedules for everybody involved, the Chargers are still pretty much a lock to win. They would have to lose all the last 4 weeks, and then other teams would have to win all 4 of their last 4 weeks.
That's a wild card spot, yeah.
Yeah, but it's going to be a wild card spot because the Chiefs have locked up the division, so the Chargers are gonna the Chargers and the Broncos too, also in the AFC West, have the 6th and 7th seeds,
But they
and then
play
the
each other?
Baltimore Ravens. So the Broncos play the Colts, and the Colts are in the 8th seed. So that they play this week in
you guys
Indianapolis.
play Baltimore if the playoffs were today.
Oh, yeah. No, we'd be Steelers. We'd be playing Pittsburgh because Pittsburgh is the AFC North right now. They got a 2-game lead on the Ravens.
I was about to say, still, that's not a favorable matchup.
Well, okay, but see, in that situation, the Ravens and the Steelers play each other in 2 weeks, so that game's going to be really important and could flip the division.
Who would you rather see?
The Steelers or the Ravens or the Texans?
Yep, out of those 3 guys.
Or the Chiefs? I would want the Chiefs in Arrowhead again.
Did the Chiefs get a bye? Don't they get a bye if the
it would be Buffalo. Yeah, because Buffalo lost to the Rams. I'd say Steelers, Texans, or Ravens. If the Ravens win the AFC North somehow, if they go on a run here, the Bills, their offense, like we saw, Josh Allen just had 6. We'll talk about it with when we talk about Puka, but he had 6 touchdowns, 3 through the air, 3 on the ground. The first time that's ever happened.
They didn't have a throw and a catch on the one play that they gave him
last week. He threw a touchdown and was also lateral the ball back and then ran it in. So he got a passing and a receiving touchdown. And even in the post game, he was like, "I just want to make sure, is that how they score it? Because I got 10 points on that play." That's pretty dope.
That's hilarious.
It's like 12 points, 11 points. What is that? A reception plus 15 yards, 12.5 points on one play? Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the Chargers are going to make the playoffs. The Broncos are probably going to make the playoffs. I think they're like a 74% chance. Colts are in there, and then the Dolphins also. But we'll get to those. We didn't have Vlad McConkey. That sucked. But yeah, it was just feel like we were getting whooped.
What is this injury significant?
I think he's gonna be okay, like in a week. It's a shoulder and a knee. No, it's a knee and a shoulder. The knee was the one that was reported, but he also got tackled pretty hard last week when he went 9 catches, 117 yards.
I've always been a fan of that type of receiver, like inside slot, like smaller guy. Doesn't have the speed, but has the routes, feet. Has the hands, the routes, and the shakes. Like one of my favorite guys was Staley when he was with the Colts. Like I know everybody is probably
Brandon Staley.
Yep.
Wait. Brandon Stokely.
Stokely, sorry. Like I love watching him play. So sad to see him take all those concussions, which also made him retire. But like I know a lot of people are gonna say like Welker and Edelman, who other guys that like to watch. Hated to play them, love to watch them. Just go to work inside.
He can run a 4.3. Vlad McConkey, he's like a fast Keenan Allen. Bro. It's good. Dope. And it's only his first year, so he's gonna do even better. The Kansas City Chiefs have a plus 56 point differential on the season so far. That's the lowest for any team that has started 12-1. Usually the 12-1 team is a juggernaut, blowing people out by so many points. Not so for the Chiefs, who have had 15 straight one-score games and a bunch of wins. I don't know. I think they're using up all their luck right now. I think that it's gonna I'm all about regressing to the mean, playing the averages. If you're in a slump, it's gonna come back up. If you're on a roll, it's gonna come down. You know what I'm saying? The numbers just say that this cannot last. And it's not a good time to do that when you're going for 3 in a row. Maybe there's some they're going to pull some sort of Lion King heart story, be able to pull something out of there. I don't know, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think numbers wise, it's not going to happen.
I've been playing Gotham Knights these past 2 weeks, and I think there's a court of owls in the NFL, and I think they've told the Chiefs, hey, bro, stop winning by so much. Make it exciting. Make it look like you guys are. And then come playoff time, just start winning like you usually do. I think that's what's going to happen. I think they're just playing possum with the rest of the league because it's just they've got their position now that they needed for the playoffs. So I expect them to start killing people. Honestly.
Oh, once the playoff starts, then they can unleash. Then they can win by 14, 20 points.
Yeah, I think.
Hopefully that does not start with the Chargers in the second round of the playoffs.
I like your confidence that they're going to make it.
And the Broncos are going to lose, so we're automatically going to be the lowest seed remaining, and we got to travel to Arrowhead. That's fine. All right. Yeah, that's the Chargers and the Raiders. Congratulations to you for making the playoffs. And the Ballinesian Fantasy Football League. That's food. Who else is in there? Rob, Will jumped in last second.
No one else matters but me, bro. You just mentioned me, and guys know that it's a great playoff. You're good.
You're good. Take it. Take the money. Good luck. Yeah, 4 weeks left in the NFL regular season. It feels like it's so quick.
Doesn't it? It feels like we were just talking about, man, I can't wait for football season. Here we are now again. Man, I hope we get to next season.
Yeah, man, we got to go through freaking March, April, May, June. Okay, any reflections from this season? And I already talked about the Chiefs about to fail.
Again, we've talked on the show. We're a big proponent of quarterbacks coming into the league and getting a chance to learn the system they're going to play in, having time to take in all the nuances of the league that they are not accustomed to when they're in college. So we've seen it this season with Bryce Young, who got benched midway through the season. Saw Andy Dalton come in, have an amazing 2 games. He went down. They had to go. They didn't just oh, you know what? Let's go back to Bryce Young because he's great. No, he was forced back in, but he did have time to sit, time to reflect. I know it's not the time that we're talking about, but he did have a little time to sit on the bench and kind of take things in because he didn't have any last year. And lo and behold, he comes back in and he's making plays. He's he's the one reason that the Panthers are still in these games right now. Playing phenomenal, making some great throws. So from being last year, don't give up on your young quarterbacks, guys. Develop them. Please develop them before you start tossing them to the wolves. I'm saying this as the Raiders are getting ready to let go. As the Raiders are gonna probably bench Aiden O'Connell for the rest of his career.
The Raiders are getting ready to pick a young quarterback to trust and not give up on. This applies after the draft.
After the draft.
We're getting ready for a new era. Yeah, don't give up on your quarterbacks.
Right.
Talent.
Not everybody can be Jaden McDaniels. Yeah, so
true. You could virtual reality though. That guy gets a lot of practice in because he has that virtual reality set up.
Definitely.
Also, the game before the game starts.
Exactly. I mean, people do that before the game, or people smoke weed before the game. Obviously, he's the guy that goes and does the virtual reality.
He's like, "What am I going to see? Here it goes, bam."
Also, the Lions. You know what I mean? People were talking about how whether or not they were going to be, if they were real, actually, with the run that they had last season, and the definitive answer is yes.
They're like the number 1 team in the league. Yeah, they're the Super Bowl favorite.
They look like it. They look like it. Like, you know how we were talking about the Chiefs just kind of just getting by, like getting lucky. These guys the point system to their game, like the point differential in their games, is almost the same as like the Chiefs. There's some close games, but you can see the fight is different in it. Like they're not like trying to get by in those games. They're even if it's close, you still think the Lions are gonna win. With the way the Chiefs are playing this year, it kind of just looks like they can lose at any moment. But the Lions look like they're just you know beating taking body shots at you during the game. Then at the end of the game, they kind of just like, all right, this is cool. You got close enough. We're done. We're gonna win now. And David Montgomery is
Man,
I don't know what Chicago's feeling right now, but I would have felt pretty bad letting him leave that team the way he's playing now in his career. I know that
yeah.
he might not have gotten the same opportunity in Chicago, but the way he's playing now is David Montgomery's pretty good. I got Jamar Gibbs.
Bro,
I'd be mad. I'd be like, damn, how come Jamar Gibbs doesn't have a touch? Then you look over.
I have Gibbs in like 2 or 3 leagues,
Yeah.
and I hate David Montgomery. This guy, every time he scores and like has 100-yard game, I'm just like, what if that went to one guy? What if that just went to this guy over here?
My God, the worst notifications are Jamar Gibbs runs for 69 yards. He's in the red zone, and you're like, oh shit.
And then you don't hear anything. Hey, where's the follow-up text?
Son of a bitch.
You go check. David Montgomery has 20 points in halftime.
Exactly. And you're like, why does that? Because he has 2 touchdowns that Jamar Gibbs could have ran
in.
Yeah.
Fantasy football. Nice. Okay. What else do we have? Coaches matter?
Right, man. Positional coaches, shout out to you guys, man. You guys are super important to the success of teams because you got to build through your ranks, got to build through your whole team. Great job. We see a lot of, if you guys don't know, there's a lot of Pacifica positional coaches from the college ranks to the NFL, second, Division 1, Division 2, all over America. We're seeing guys just be great divisional coaches from Pacifica lineage. Sean Newell, to name one, at USC, the D-line coach there. Their D-line, he was at Michigan. He was at BYU. I think his next step would be to become a coordinator, but he's a great D-line coach. You see Joe Salavia down in Miami, who was at Oregon. I think he definitely deserves to be a coordinator somewhere, but he's the D-line coach out in Miami. Doug Edasaya at I think he's at Utah right now. So, and those guys played in American Samoa. They're straight from home. It's good to see them. We're not only stars on the field, we're also stars on the sideline. So, great to see. Yeah, great to see.
Open that door up. Yeah. But speaking of stars on the field, let's get into Puka Nacua and the NFC playoff picture.
Man, he went nuclear in his final week. You know how I know? Because some fool that was playing this past Sunday had him, and now
he got a rushing touchdown.
He did go off. He went off against the Bills. He helped the Rams beat the Bills. I'm pretty sure a lot of people weren't expecting that.
Right.
My man went 14 of 12, 165 yards. Touchdown in the air, 5 for 16, touchdown on the ground.
Man. And there was a sideline catch he made that was crazy, like tiptoes, ball outside, cradled in, falling down, rolling in.
I didn't see it.
Crazy. I saw it live. It was amazing. I thought there was no way it was a catch, and then it turned out it was.
You know what's even better than all of that he did on the field, which was great, is that he taught Tom Brady the meaning of Puka in one of the meanings of Puka, because also he could have been like, oh, well, it's like a hole in your, but he went with the other one, which means chubby. And
it's like, what? Puka's not your real name. What does Puka mean? It means fatso.
It was great because he said, tell us what Puka means in Samoan. And he said, my grandma gave me that name. It means chubby, so she gave that to me. It's like, that's great to see. So another great showing for Puka. Not to be outdone though, even though he lost, Josh Allen went 22 of 37, 342 yards, 3 touchdowns, no sacks.
No interceptions,
no sacks, 90.3 quarterback rating. I've said some bad things about Josh Allen these past 2 seasons, but I think he's living up to the billing. He's proving me wrong. I'm not the type of person to be like, actually, I am. I can ride something to the grave, but I don't ride this to the grave. Josh Allen, Josh Allen looks to be the star that everybody thought he was.
If the Bills are down in a game, this guy is going to do something about it.
He's got that
That
will. He's got that fight in him. I'm
yeah.
not gonna say it as everybody says it, but I know people want to hear. He's got that dog in him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think he's like there. You have to have that dog. You have to realize that something is like dangerous and
Right.
still go above and
No.
beyond. Right? He just doesn't recognize it as dangerous. He's like, I'm going to run into people, shoulder first, throwing shoulder first.
He does have size. I'll give him that. He has a size.
Use his size and speed and momentum to knock over. He's also had three passing touchdowns. He also had 10 carries at 82 yards and 3 rushing touchdowns.
You know what? And I the only people that worry about it, I'm pretty sure his coaches. I'm pretty sure his head coach is like, please, dude, just
he's asked him for years
right.
to stop being so reckless. But Josh Allen he's freaking Superman. First person ever to go 3 pass touchdowns, 3 rush touchdowns in a game. And I think in standard scoring, he set a fantasy football record, 51.88 standard fantasy points.
Well, I would know because he wasn't on my team. Who wasn't also on my team was Puka. And, with Puka, man, and he had a great game. But with him having a great game and the Rams winning, still in the line to make the playoffs. So, I mean, what's your thoughts on them making the playoffs? You think they can do
it? They're in a really good situation because they are 8th. And there are 7 playoff seeds, but they are 8th, so they are closing in on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are also 7-6. But they also have a shot to catch up with the Seattle Seahawks, who they play in a couple of weeks, I think.
It's also been inconsistent with their play.
Yeah, so. The Seahawks are 8-5 and 1 to take a 1-game lead now. But the Rams are near. The Niners also won this week. There's 4 games left. I think there are some divisional games there where things can switch up. So I kind of like the Rams to make the playoffs. Yeah, we'd have to check the schedule and what they have left. But I think the Rams have like that veteran presence, right? And you could say like Geno Smith leads with the veteran presence in Seattle, but the guys around him sometimes are young, sometimes are mercurial or volatile. DK Metcalf, JSN still young. Tyler Lockett always consistent, but you can definitely see he's getting used less or given fewer opportunities. But I think the Rams, I think they're going to have to catch up to. I think they're going to have to win the division, or the Commanders like really fall off, and the Buccaneers also fall off to get the wild card because the NFC North has 3 playoff teams.
It's taking up those spots. And with the young guys on, with Jaden Daniels being so young at the quarterback, it's possible that they do fall off. Their defense has been playing great too, but they're not a lights out, knock 'em dead defense just yet. So I mean, they do have the potential to lose some of these games and drop off. And the Rams have Matt Stafford, that you can't ever count him out. He's balling out a little bit. Kyron Williams. They still got some players on their team too. It's going to be a tough road for them, but I think they still have a chance to make these playoffs.
Let's get it. Yeah, the NFC playoffs looks a lot closer. The Lions and the Eagles have clinched, and then the Vikings are also 11-2. The Packers are 9-4. Seattle's 8-5 at the head of the West, and then Washington has the final wild card spot, 8-5. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I'm tripping. Okay, so we have Tua Tagovailoa from Miami Dolphins, now 6-7 with a win in overtime in New Jersey against the Jets, 26-32. Jets have been eliminated from the playoffs. It's not a surprise. It's happened for the last 14 seasons. Tua, 33 of 46, clutch comeback also. In this one, 331 yards, ended up with 2 touchdowns, led a game-tying field goal drive when they got the ball back with just 52 seconds remaining, and definitely seeing what the Dolphins have been this year without Tua, and even when they first got him back, they don't look lost anymore. They look like they know what they're doing. Tyreek Hill
Right.
was getting involved. He had 10 catches, over 100 yards, a touchdown. Jonnu Smith came alive in overtime, 3 catches, 42 yards, a touchdown to win it.
He didn't do anything in the first
4 quarters.
Yeah.
In the whole regular game, Jonnu Smith did not make a catch. And then in overtime, back-to-back catches to get him started, and then the touchdown to win it.
The touchdown to win it. That's crazy.
On the other side, Aaron Rodgers, boo-hoo. This was the first time in the last 35 games Aaron Rodgers – this is the first time in the last 35 games Aaron Rodgers has thrown for over 300 yards. To put that in contrast, Joe Burrow has had 5 300-yard football games this season, right? So Aaron Rodgers definitely not that guy anymore. I
feel like he won't be the quarterback of the New York Giants.
Of the Giants either?
I mean, Jets. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think anyone would sign themselves up for the drama and the low production and the injury risk and the financials, but I think someone's going to be desperate and sign him to a 2-year contract or something, and hopefully jump him. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't want it to happen. I'm over it. But yeah, it was cool to see him and Devontae Adams on their 2-minute drill, bro. Unguardable, unstoppable. It was ridiculous. It was Devontae Adams was wide open. It was always the right call. It was always the right read.
Devontae sucks, bro.
Does he?
No,
don't sound so hurt. Come on.
I'm not.
Miami wins this game. They now have a 1 in 8 chance to make the playoffs. They're at 12%. Indianapolis.
It's 1.
Huh?
But it's a 1 though. Still, they can still make it.
They can still make it. Indianapolis 34%, Denver at 74. Their schedules: Miami plays at Texans versus 49ers, at Browns, at Jets. The Colts play at Broncos versus Titans, at Giants versus Jacksonville, and the Denver Broncos play. They host the Colts this week, and then they play the Chargers, the Bengals, and the Chiefs. So Denver's going to have some tough games, but if they win this one, well, okay. So if the Colts win this game, they go from, I think they're at what are they at right now? 12. They're at 34. They jump up to 55% if they win this game. But if they lose this game this week versus the Broncos, they go down to 8. So they go. That's. I mean, this is pretty much a play-in game, right? And then you got to keep winning.
Yeah,
to get that final playoff spot.
I think they have enough firepower to beat the Broncos.
The Colts?
Not by much. Yeah, the Colts. And then I think
it's just Anthony Richardson is so. Is it going to be complete? Yeah.
So
downfield bombs.
I think. I do think they can, even off his legs. You know what I'm saying? Because he's been doing a lot of running, the touchdowns. I think if they get into the red zone a lot, they'll definitely score it. They have again that firepower that they can use to score in the red zone. But if they do win, I think their road after Denver is a lot easier than
Titans, Giants, Jacksonville.
Exactly. So
that could be an easy 3-0.
Yeah.
As opposed to the Broncos, who are going Chargers, Bengals, Chiefs.
Right.
So they I don't know. Even if the Broncos win, they could lose the next 3 and be out of it.
Exactly.
Hopefully Miami can also capitalize. At the post game, after the freaking Dolphins games, this guy thinks he's freaking funny. They asked Tua Tagovailoa, do you ever remember being in playing a overtime game in the NFL before, or did you only play overtime in college? And he says, I don't remember. I don't remember. I don't know if I should be saying that. But everyone starts laughing. He's like, what? Too soon? Okay.
You gotta have humor around it. He's so everybody just is always in his face about it. And even when he was recovering. So get to see that he has humor about it. And also,
he was looking pressed that first week back. They were talking about how are you back here with your injury?
Right.
And he was like, guys, this is a decision I made. It's a personal choice. I'm gonna play this game. I love this game. I love this game to death. I was like, please.
Maybe that was too soon.
That was very soon. That was his first week back. But I mean, especially seeing him slide and the home crowd like cheer,
Man.
the second cheer, whenever Tua slides.
When he got run over after the interception. So you went from the cheers when he slid, and then everybody holding their breath when he got run over by the linebacker. And you're like,
tough, scary. All right. A couple more things. Steelers now 10-3. They avenged their earlier loss to the Browns, 14-27. Jameis Winston, some good, some bad. Enough bad to lose you the game. Russell Wilson now 6-1 as a starter for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Went 15 of 26, 158 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Steelers now have a 2-game lead over the Ravens, who are 8-5. Pittsburgh plays at Eagles, at Ravens versus Chiefs versus Bengals. The Ravens play at Giants versus Steelers, at Texans versus Browns. So if the Ravens beat the Giants and then Steelers when they face in 2 weeks, they could be at the top of the AFC North. And then we'll see how the rest of the games shake out after that. But that's going to be an important one. It'll probably come down to that game. So I should ask you, who do you think is going to win versus the Steelers and the Ravens in 2 weeks? Because that's pretty much going to decide who could win the AFC North.
So before I say this, a Steelers fan, I was talking to one of my good friends, and he said he goes by Scissorhands on Instagram, SIZZAH_ hands. He's also the bass player for Thea. Great guy, great musician. Also really big Steelers fan. It's like, bro, why you always talking shit about my Steelers? I listen to your show religiously.
Hey, what's up, bro? Thanks for tapping in. Appreciate you, bro.
Man, Eddie, love you, man. So this is my makeup to you, bro. I do think the Steelers are gonna win. I like the Steelers. I honestly think they're gonna win. I think going into that game, they have a little bit more momentum than the Ravens. Ravens seem like they're slowly kind of just falling apart at the end of the season. They have the incident with Deontay Johnson now. I don't think they run the ball enough with Henry. And their defense, they don't look like they're together. So yeah, and the Steelers just look like they're playing ball at the right time, playing good ball at the right time.
And they're going to need to play their best ball to close out the season because they have Eagles, top of the NFC, the Ravens up there, the Chiefs, and the Bengals. Whereas the Ravens get to play the Giants next week, that division game versus the Steelers that they need to win, and then they play the Texans and the Browns, who are probably easier opponents. So we'll see how that flips there. Hopefully, Russell Wilson can keep pouring on. It's good to see him freaking throwing up those dimes to the sideline, those moon balls that a number 14 comes down with. That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
College football playoff. Why should we root for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish? And what do you think about the rest of the rankings?
Well, one, because we're Notre Dame, we're backed by God. Duh.
You have to.
Yeah. See how that worked out for Noah in this last game?
I talked to him when we went golf. He's like, that the team name Win for God, win using an I with the number 1 is because it's for Chris Godwin. And I was like, oh, I didn't get that. I don't think anybody got that. It's like we were all like, win for God. Oh, this
Liar.
guy. How is anybody supposed to beat this guy? It's rude.
Oh, and that's why he lost.
but you want to use the same strategy? Okay. So the Notre Dame Fighting Irish have to play. Who is this? Indiana. Penn State has to play at SMU. Or these are all at bowl games, right? These aren't going to be at home stadiums.
Yeah. So again, Notre Dame slighted. Yes, they lost to Northern Illinois, who wasn't ranked at the time. Still a good football team. They lost in their second game of the season, but have won every game since. Won the first game, lost to Northern Illinois, won every game since. Averaged point differential, winning by 26.3 points every game after. Okay, everything.
Yeah.
And people are going to talk about strength of schedule. When they played Army, they played Navy. Both teams were undefeated, ranked in the top 25.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hey. They were ranked, okay?
Yeah. Didn't Army win their conference championship?
They did.
The
They did.
AAAC.
Florida State, not our fault. They shit the bed.
Hey, we just play our schedule.
They were ranked in the top 10 in the beginning of the season. We scheduled top ranked teams. Not our fault. They shit the bed during the season. We beat a very good USC team in LA. We murdered them. By the way,
they're a really good team now.
Oh my gosh, they're phenomenal.
Okay. Notre Dame, you're fine. Notre Dame got in. You're saying at 7, the 7th seed was too low because you guys have been on a tour.
They should be at least 5. They should be hosting a game right now. But Notre Dame, which is from South Bend, Indiana, I'm pretty sure that stadium is going to be blanked out by at least green or blue jerseys all over.
Yeah.
So, but if you're asking me why I think they're going to win the championship, they've got just their defense is stout. They're both lines are playing amazing. 2 of the best D line and O line in the country. I know Riley Leonard, their quarterback, had some throwing issues at the beginning of the season, but he didn't have an off season. Was injured when he transferred over from Duke. So when everybody was like his off season really started in like September, So by the time he got to October, now he's in mid-season form, and now he's looking great. He's looking like the guy that Notre Dame thought they got. He's more of a runner than a thrower, and that's great because Notre Dame's line is built to run all over everybody. And you can tell by when you watch them, they got a guy by the name of Jeremiah Love in the backfield, who, if he wasn't sharing the backfield with another great running back, Jabrian, who's back there with him, if they weren't sharing the backfield together, they would both be starting somewhere else, probably having both like 1,500-yard seasons. That's how good the running backs are in the backfield. They still have 2 guys.
Montgomery.
That's what
David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs.
No, and
go to another team. Go get your own rushing offense.
Jalen Hurts stealing all of Saquon's touchdowns.
Oh, did you see that? Saquon's been tackled at the 1-yard line 11 times, and they've resulted in 10 Jalen Hurts touchdowns and 0 Saquon Barkley touchdowns. What a nice guy. I have Jalen Hurts in Dynasty, and I think I need to sell him off real quick because I don't think the stats are going to be looking this good. Okay, the college football playoff, Oregon got a bye at number 1, Georgia at number 2, Boise State at number 3, Arizona State at number 4, because they won their conference championships, and then
that's weak.
And then were seeded by the committee. Ohio State at Tennessee, Texas at Clemson, Penn State at SMU, Notre Dame and Indiana. And then whoever wins out of those goes to the teams that have a bye. Those teams play down, and then we find
I think the biggest
12-team playoff champion.
Besides these teams that are in, and it's the first 12-team playoff championship, is that Bama is absent from the playoffs. Did not make it. They were a multi-loss team this year. Got blown out by 3 losses. Got blown out one of those losses. And SMU just they took their spot pretty much. So that's probably the biggest news out of the playoffs right now.
SMU made it to the ACC championship and then lost on a last-second field goal to Clemson.
Also note
that comeback, that freaking second half offense, they were buzzing.
They're good. Their offense can play, but college landscape has changed with the addition of the teams from the Pac-12 now in the Big Ten. Some of the teams that shouldn't be in the ACC, which stands for the Atlantic Conference. The
Atlantic Coast Conference.
Yeah, Atlantic Coast Conference, and you have
these guys,
right? And Texas, Southern Methodist from Texas. So and then the Big 12 also, Arizona State winning the Big 12. Not from their Arizona State. So landscape's totally different.
Winning the Big 10.
Oregon winning the Big 10. You know what stayed consistent? Notre Dame, because they've been independent from the beginning. They're still independent now. Never switched up. They are who they are. People want to complain. But hey, look, Notre Dame's still here, and that's why you should vote for Notre Dame. Why? Because tradition and because they're honest.
Who said tradition and religion? Who is the last Heisman Trophy winner from Notre Dame?
Tim Brown.
All right. What year was that? What'd you say?
89 or
And then he went and played for the Raiders?
Went and had an Hall of Fame career with the Raiders, yes.
What a great lineup as a player for you to go from your college team to your NFL team and to be good the whole time.
Exactly. Nice. It's great.
Ray Malunga, it's so much hope. No, actually, he went to the Bengals. Matt Tartel. No, he went to Notre Dame. It's been Troy.
You know,
no, he went to the Steelers. Oh gosh.
Also,
USC
another great win
oh
for Notre Dame is they were able to sign Madden Faremo from California, probably the number one linebacker in the country. It was between Notre Dame and another team from California who didn't matter. Notre Dame was able to sign him.
That superior, great, amazing team from California.
They were superior and great. That is the second number one linebacker in the country that Notre Dame was able to sign away from the California teams. Being last year Kingston Guillermo also, and now we have Madden Faremo. We are slowly building our Pacifica linebacking core. It's great to see. I love it.
Nice. What else do we have? Heisman Trophy. Who do you think it's going to?
Travis Hunter.
And why?
He basically did the same thing that another great Raider did in why am I blanking?
Troy Brown.
Children don't smoke weed. No,
you should not be smoking weed as a child.
As a child, amen. Charles Woodson. Oh my gosh.
Charles Woodson played receiver?
He played receiver and quarterback at Michigan.
Nice.
Yeah. So
he only played cornerback in the league, right? In the NFL?
He had a couple of snaps at receiver. Like there were times that they put him in at receiver. Travis Hunter obviously plays it at a more volume than Charles Woodson did. But the things he does, I saw a meme somewhere that said if you switched Travis Hunter and put him on Boise State and Johnson on Colorado ends up being a top 10 team or a top 5 team in the country, and Boise State ends up not getting into the playoffs. That's rubbish. Not to take away from Johnson, he's good. He's a great running back, but Boise State didn't play nobody this season. Stop playing. You gotta stop playing. You know what I mean? Just stop playing.
5 touchdowns of 70 plus yards or more. Of 70 plus yards.
Also
explosive. 2,000 rushing yards.
That's fine, but look at the volume that he runs at. His carries, ridiculous. Like you can't expect him to carry the ball 30, 45 times every game. Not gonna happen. And that's what he does. His carry load is almost that much per game. So I just think Travis Hunter again is the Heisman Trophy winner. I think he does a lot more than Shanti does, and I think he did it against better competition. So
all right, that's all we got. Anything else?
No.
Stories?
That's a cool look.
Definitely, if you have any sports stories or any other topics, it doesn't even have to be sports. Definitely hit us up, send us the DMs, comment on these episodes on the YouTube page on the Polytickin Network, and let us know what you guys think, how we can improve, what other news we might have missed. Definitely get that comment section going, and we can pump that up and also do shout outs for next time. Yo, if you got birthdays coming up, if you got graduations, if you want to send someone a shout out here on the show, tap in at Ballinesian on IG, at the Polytickin Podcast, on the YouTube page, the Polytickin Network. Definitely let us know. Yeah, for sure. Any shout outs for this week?
Oh man, just the one I did earlier to my guy Eddie Silmanu. He originally from Hawaii. I met him because he played with one of my really good friends. John Rockoff. They played in a band called Fob Rockets. With with Eddie's brother Israel. Is man, so both brothers. Man, I thought we were gonna get through an episode without this one.
What's up, Pops?
Man. But yeah, two great brothers. Me and I met them briefly, and then we've been like really good friends ever since.
Nice.
He plays bass for, if you guys don't know, the artist Fia from Hawaii.
Yeah.
He also works in Vegas, plays, man, very, very talented musician, but other than that, very, very, very amazing human being. If you guys want to check him out, his name is Eddie Selmani. You can see him on Instagram at Scissor Hands. That's SIZZAH_HANDZ. Shout out to you. I'll try my best not to be as harsh on your Pittsburgh Steelers, but I am a Raiders fan. It's in my blood. Sorry, Eddie. The Steelers suck.
She was like, anybody can get it. Anybody now with the silver and black.
Yeah, you just wait till we're great again.
Just wait until we retool. Yeah, definitely listen back to this episode. What the Raiders need in this offseason. The Chargers moving forward are going to be playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We'll be back next week with how everything goes down. And yeah, any of your questions, comments, and concerns, hit us up. Shout out to Livasa Island Apparel on Instagram at @le_Vasa. Shout out to Brother Uri. Tapping in those freaking print sesh playlists. Definitely follow for vibes. It puts me on to so much new music and old music and
like print play, smoke session, either way.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, definitely tap in. But get your Christmas orders or even winter orders in. It's gonna be cold.
It's cold.
For a long time. I feel like it didn't get cold until late, so it's gonna be like a long winter. We're gonna be like cold into March or something. So, I mean, definitely get your cold weather gear, your hoodies, your zip ups, your quarter zips.
Definitely.
You can check out the website online, but definitely on Instagram and hit the DMs, @le_Vasa.
I have to make Eri do some onesies, some grown folk onesies.
Oh yeah, I was like, oh what, what's going on? You know, is there a little Christmas baby coming?
No, hey, no, don't do that. Don't do that.
Negativity.
Don't get me in trouble. Don't do that.
Yeah, custom prints definitely. You can work stuff out and definitely tap in to see what he has left over from the pop-up inventory before it goes into the vault. Shout out to Brother Uriah, Brother Bolt, and the family down there in Modesto, California.
Amen.
Oh, also, yeah, they have the Via Dolorosa, the food drive at that church.
Sir.
1331 Cascade Avenue every Saturday morning. You can go there and grab food. Like they bring out food, they collect food from different places and have it set up there for people in the community. I feel like it's the people are like showing up, like they know about it and they can rely on it.
They do. It's grown. It's grown. Yeah,
important. And that's what you do when you support Livasa. It's all that stuff. Most of the funds go back into community work and helping people there in California.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you for tapping in. We'll see you guys next time. Follow us on the socials at Ballinesian, Village Kids Media. Follow the Polytickin Podcast on Instagram. Also the Polytickin Network on YouTube. Also, if you want to support the Patreon, the Polytickin Podcast Patreon on patreon.com. $5 for extra episodes. But I feel like it's more than just extra episodes. It's like that's where like some of the stuff that we don't talk about we can't. The first information,
right? Like
the breaking takes.
Yeah, first edition of everything. I mean,
the patrons get it. Yeah,
there's certain things you can get behind the paywall. It's $5. And it's not like you're getting like a recycled episode. It's a totally different episode. It's something new, so definitely. And the boys are great. I'm telling you, you'll enjoy it. I promise.
The amount of ideas and freaking information and jokes and everything that happens is
for sure
definitely worth it. You can gift subscriptions too. But
Right,
yeah,
they're my friends, and I pay for it.
Definitely. Oh yeah, support your friends. Thank you to everybody for listening. Samos talking about sports here on the Ballinesian Podcast. Coach Forrest, I'm Lance, Charger and Raider fans. And we'll see you guys next week. Stay hydrated, stay blessed, stay balling, love and light. Peace.
Wish me luck, guys. I gotta walk down the road to pick up my niece in this weather.
Is it cold?
Yeah, man, bro, it's like 30 over here.
Oh man. Good luck, bro.
Thank you.